good evening, or good day. This is Bear, joining you for a brief tutorial video. As I've started production on the next episode in the Battle of the Symbiote series, I've decided to start posting short videos regarding new techniques I'll be using in production. Today we'll cover how to use green and blue screens for stop-motion animations. Also, stick around at the end for a few announcemements. First, as far as setting up the shot to ensure the best results, we'll choose a background color that's significantly different from the subject. Then make sure the white balance is set properly, ensure your figure's completely in focus. Finally, match the lighting to what you think the scene's going to look like. When all this is said and done, take all your photos and get over to your preferred editing software. Now, since we're going through individual frames, I'll be using Krita today. You could use a video-specific software like After Effects and DaVinci Resolve as well, and the same principles would apply. First, we want to eliminate all this empty space. I'll draw a rough mask around the entire figure and ensure to cut out any rigging from the image. Delete everything outside the figure, and now we have this. We can do one of two things here. Either use a tool like Chroma key or color to alpha to erase the outline. Otherwise, we can use a tool that selects similar regions of color. Once the figure is masked, the edges may be jagged, which, if this is the case, there are two things we can do. One is to select the area around the figure and push the selection just a few pixels within the edges, and add a slight blur to the image. For scenes where the figure is moving quickly, I use a directional blur to exaggerate the motion, but you can use whichever one looks the best. Otherwise, some Chroma key softwares will allow you to soften the edges, so you can use that within it. After this, I export it as a PNG with transparency enabled, and then I can import it to my timeline in my video editing software, which in this case is DaVinci Resolve. As a second method, you can cut out the rough masks within a photo editing software like Krita, and then return to the video editing software to use a more sophisticated Chroma key. After Effects and DaVinci Resolve have pretty intensive programs for this, so you can get even more detailed in dealing with softness of edges, color spillover, so on and so forth. As far as why I'm masking the frames outside of DaVinci, instead of using something like their spline tools for masking, I personally find it much easier to just freehand a quick mask instead of drawing with the vectors point by point. And when you bring all the frames together, you get something like this. As far as announcements, I'd like to let everyone know that I'm still accepting auditions for the voice actors in the next episode. There's going to be quite a few new characters and extras needed, so let me know if you would like to join. Also, in order to expedite the production process, I've started a Ko-Fi to crowdsource funding for some of the materials in the project. After finalizing the script, it's become very apparent that I'm going to need lots of materials for building sets and props. As my first goal, I've put up an amount to buy a 3D printer from Bamboo Labs. Any contributions are greatly appreciated. Finally, I would like to thank everyone who's been watching my content and has subscribed since my extended hiatus. It's been extremely surreal to have such an outpour of positivity about the latest release, and I'm extremely grateful for all your kind words in the comment section. That's all for today for the quick tips. Next one, I will likely touch on how to utilize Unreal Engine in order to produce cityscapes for backgrounds. Thank you for watching, and wherever you are, I hope you have a good rest of your day.